Don't you dare touch me. With a sharp crack, the woman's hand shot out like lightning, snapping both of the SEAL sergeant's wrists. The entire training ground, packed with over 500 elite soldiers, fell into a stunned silence. Just moments before, T-Set Gantaman, known for his brutal training methods and condescending attitude, had sneered at her, yelling, "Know your place, woman." He had even struck her, expecting her to cower. He was dead wrong. This woman was no ordinary recruit. Her name was Evelyn, and she was the sole heir to a legendary martial arts family, a lineage stretching back centuries. She had mastered techniques that most people only saw in movies, a blend of deadly efficiency and breathtaking grace. But Evelyn wanted more. She wanted to serve her country, to test her skills on the ultimate proving ground, the Special Forces. However, from the moment she arrived, she was met with scorn and disbelief. The men, led by the arrogant Sergeant Croft, saw her as a liability, a pretty face who didn't belong. Croft made it his personal mission to break her. During a grueling obstacle course, he deliberately sabotaged her equipment, causing her to fall from a high rope. He expected her to quit, bruised and humiliated. Instead, she got back up, a dangerous glint in her eyes, and completed the course in record time, leaving everyone speechless. During hand-to-hand combat training, he pitted her against his 3 largest men. They smirked, thinking it would be an easy win. But Evelyn moved like a phantom, a blur of motion. One by one, the men crumpled to the ground, groaning in pain, defeated by her precise, disabling strikes. Her incredible performance didn't earn her respect. It only fueled Croft's rage and insecurity. He couldn't stand being shown up, especially by a woman. He saw her as a threat to his authority, a challenge to his entire worldview. The tension on the base was thick enough to cut with a knife. Everyone knew a final confrontation was brewing, a clash between old-school military chauvinism and a new breed of warrior. The breaking point came during a public demonstration. In front of the entire battalion and several high-ranking officers, Croft decided to make an example of her. He called her out, his voice dripping with contempt. "Some of you think this little girl has what it takes," he spat. "I'm here to show you she's nothing but a fraud." He stalked towards her, his face a mask of fury. "This is a man's world. Know your place," he roared, and swung his hand, slapping her hard across the face. The crack of the slap echoed across the silent field. A collective gasp went through the crowd. For a split second, Evelyn just stood there, a red mark blooming on her cheek. Croft smirked, thinking he had finally broken her spirit. But when she looked up, her eyes went filled with tears. They were burning with cold, controlled fury. "You should never have done that," she said, her voice chillingly calm. Before Croft could even react, she moved. It wasn't a wild, angry swing. It was a precise, calculated action, a masterclass in martial arts. Her hands shot forward, seizing his wrists. There was a sickening double snap that was audible even from the back of the formation. Croft let out a scream of pure agony, his face turning pale as he stared in disbelief at his now useless, dangling hands. He dropped to his knees, whimpering. The 500 soldiers looked on, their jaws on the floor. The officers were equally stunned. They had just witnessed the base's most feared instructor being utterly and effortlessly dismantled by the very recruit he had tormented. In that moment, Evelyn wasn't just a recruit anymore. She was a legend. General Matthews, the base commander, strode forward, his face unreadable. He looked at the whimpering Croft, Tenet, Ebeline, who stood tall, her composure absolute. "Sergeant Croft," the general's voice boomed, "you are a disgrace to this uniform. Your actions are unacceptable. Medics, get him out of my sight. As for you," Sawyer said, turning to Evelyn, his eyes now filled with a newfound respect. "That was the most impressive display of discipline and skill I have ever seen. You didn't just defend yourself, you demonstrated what a true warrior is." The fallout was immediate. Croft was dishonorably discharged. Evelyn, on the other hand, was fast-tracked. The ridicule and doubt she had faced evaporated overnight, replaced by awe and respect. Her fellow soldiers, who had once sneered at her, now eagerly sought her out, asking her to teach them, to share her knowledge. She wasn't just one of them anymore. She was their leader. Evelyn's journey was far from over. Her actions sent ripples through the entire military. She became a symbol of change, proving that strength and skill know no gender. She was assigned to an elite covert unit, a ghost team that handled the nation's most dangerous missions. Her first assignment was to infiltrate the mountain fortress of a notorious warlord, a man named Kale. This wasn't a training exercise. Tease was real. Kale's fortress was considered impenetrable, guarded by hundreds of loyal, battle-hardened mercenaries. Evelyn, leading a small team she had personally trained, used her unique skills to navigate the treacherous terrain and bypass the fortress's defenses like a ghost. They moved through the shadows, neutralizing guards with silent, non-lethal precision. Evelyn felt a familiar thrill. The stakes were higher, but the principles were the same. Inside, she finally came face to face with Kale. He was a giant of a man, scarred and brutal, surrounded by his personal guard. He laughed when he saw her. "They sent a child to fight me," he bellowed. It was the same arrogance, the same dismissiveness she had faced from Croft. And just like Croft, Kale was about to learn a painful lesson. The fight was a whirlwind of controlled chaos. Evelyn's team engaged the guards, while she moved directly towards Kale. He swung a massive blade at her, a weapon that could cleave a man in two. But for Evelyn, it was like a slow-motion film. She flowed around his attacks, using his own momentum against him. A palm strike to his elbow, a sweep to his knee, a precise jab to a nerve cluster in his neck. It was bigger, stronger, but she was faster, smarter, and infinitely more skilled. Within minutes, the mighty warlord was on his knees, disarmed and gasping for breath. Unable to move. His reign of terror was over. When word got back to military command, Evelyn's status as a living legend was cemented. She wasn't just the woman who broke a SEAL's wrists. She was the operative who could topple regimes. She had found her place, not the one others tried to force on her, but the one she had carved out for herself through sheer will, talent, and an unbreakable spirit. Her story became an inspiration, a reminder that the strongest warriors are often the ones you least expect.